But for oral answers, Honorable Minister is invited. Honorable Minister, it should be noted that questions for the last session, September session, we are brought forward, and the ones for this session added. That's why the list is so long. We begin with question number 0156 of 2022, Honorable Member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the government, through the President, promised the people of Sami electricity by the year 2023. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy provide for the information of this August Assembly the names of the villages that are supposed to benefit from the said electricity project in Sami?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Under the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, Backbone Phase 1, 39 communities in the Sami constituency will benefit, and they include Dobo, Changai Tukulor, Changai Wolof, Sinchu Baya, Sami Pak Koki, Sinchu Dura, Sami Tenda, Kibiri, Tangkong, Jalokoto, Jaleng Seni, Jaleng Jaube, Sami Surua Kunda, Fiti Fula, Fiti Wolof, and Sami Jalube, Tande Mandinka, Tande Bara, Tande Wolof, Sami Medina, Sami Omar Jula, Ban Talayel, Dem Faye, Yuma, Bani, Jamajen, Tipa, Demba Kali, Jaga, Demba Kali, and Karantaba, Bantang Koto, Karantaba Tukulo, Kunting, Bustam, Tony Taba, Cecily, Karantaba Ken Dala, Karantaba Tabokoto, Karantaba Tukoto, Karantaba Wolof, and Sari Jata. Those are the communities that will be electrified at the Sami constituency under the Backbone Phase 1.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, can you raise your voice a little bit? Hansard people are worried that they are recording. Yes, go ahead, Honorable Member.
Very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you have stated that 39 communities. What about the remaining villages? When are they supposed to have?
These are the Phase 1 project, and we have Phase 2 under the JAM project. We've also directed the National Water and Electricity Company to provide us with a comprehensive list identifying all the communities in each constituency in the country and tell us which ones are electrified by the ongoing projects and which ones are currently electrified, so that we can identify the gaps, and any gap that is any of the communities that are not electrified by any of the ongoing projects, then we will be able to develop additional projects to make sure that they are electrified in order to meet the government's objective of providing universal electricity access by 2025.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, will there be any compensation for those lands that are affected?
What I can say is all of these projects which are financed by the World Bank, the environmental and social aspect is very fundamental. And the World Bank will not allow any of these projects to commence without the people that are affected by the projects called parts are compensated. And I can comfortably tell you that prior to the commencement of the project for these communities, all of them were compensated. That's the information that we have been provided with. Because without the compensation, the commencement, no objection will not be given by the bank for the works to start. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This phase one, are you in a position to tell us whether the project has been started or not? And if at all, yes, how soon it will be started?
No, I think if you go to the area, you will see that some of the villages have already, the poles have been erected, the lines have been struck, and also along the route, you will see the medium voltage poles also been erected. So the contractor is on the ground, he's doing his work, and the consultant, together with the project implementation unit, are following, as well as the ministry. I can inform this August gathering that my ministry, on a monthly basis, sit NAWEC, and each of the projects, the project managers will report directly to me to tell me the progress of each of these projects that they are implementing on behalf of the government. Thank you.
Question number 057 of 2022, member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy update this August Assembly on the rural electrification project in the URR, the northern part especially? Thank you.
The Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, called the JAM Backbone Phase 2, will electrify 165 communities in the URR, 62 in the URR North, and 103 communities are in the URR South. The construction works was signed in May 2022, and the contract became effective on the 11th of October 2022, following receipt by the contractor of the advance payment. So the contractor has mobilized as of last month, and he's doing the detailed engineering and survey works, as well as procurement activities. And we are hopeful that in the towards the second quarter of next year, actual implementation or installation works will commence on the ground. Thank you.
Any supplementary? Yes, Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I will use this word, the rural electrification project. In Lower Salum, there are gaps and all
Honorable Member, read the question. Upper River region, especially the northern part, You cannot relate it. Question number 058 of 2022 by the Honorable Member for Fonyi Brefet.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question is as follows. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister of Petroleum, Energy tell this August Assembly how soon his ministry intends to provide electricity supply to the villages of Jajin and Jalokoto on the highway, Demban, Jola, to Kanjabina in the interior, where who were opted in the first phase, omitted in the first phase for the rural electrification project.
Honorable Speaker, the villages of Jalokoto and Demban will be electrified under the Ecowas Regional Electricity Access Project, which is funded by the World Bank through a grant. The work contract was signed in May of last year, and the contract became effective December 2021 for a period of 24 months. The contractor is actually carrying out the survey, the engineering design works, the procurement activities. And once these are approved by the consultant, the independent consultant who is monitoring and supervising the works, the installation works are expected to start very soon. Although the village of Jali and Demba and Jola to Kajabina are not part of the EcoRI project, the ministry, my ministry, and in collaboration in NAWEC, is in the process of developing, as I said earlier, additional projects to electrify all these areas in line with government's objective to achieve universal access by 2025. The EcoRI project, which is funded, is a regional project funded by the World Bank and housed by the Ecowas Commission, has identified certain communities. But we recognize that all of these ongoing projects are not going to cover all the communities in the country. So hence the reason we've asked NAWEC to give us a baseline data for us to be able to pinpoint the gaps. And those gaps will now give us the opportunity to approach development partners. Some of the projects we'll be able to do internally, as we have done in some of the communities in a community in CRR, where we provided them with home solar systems. It's not that the electrification is only through running lines, but we can also provide solar systems as well as mini-grids and other methods of electrifying our communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, as I may put it to you, the Demban Jola end, there is a military base around that end. They live in the darkness, secure in the darkness. We're told that they followed the NAWEC and the ministry about electrification poles around this end. Are you aware, if so, how far urgency of that military base?
No, I'm not specifically aware of that, but the objective of the ministry is to electrify all the communities in the country, and that's the objective, and we intend to pursue it vigorously. Thank you.
Thank you. No further question.
Question number 059 of 2022, Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Minister of and the Honorable Minister of Petroleum, Energy inform this August Assembly what causes the Gambia petroleum oil split at Mandinary and what steps were taken to mitigate the impact on the environment as well as to prevent its reoccurrence?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me respond this way. I will put the oil spill in inverted commas. You know, and in my response, you understand why. You know, this oil spill at Mandinary, Petroleum depot, was caused by the escape of HFO, which is the heavy fuel oil, during a vessel discharge on the 28th of May 2022 through a hole that was later discovered on the underwater pipeline, because there are pipes from the mooring place where the vessels dock and pump the oil through underwater pipes to the tanks. And there was a small hole, and that the heavy fuel oil escaped from the hole. And when it was discovered, the Petroleum aborted the discharge and started the repair of the pipeline. But obviously, because there was a hole, you know, certain HFO escaped and started flowing because the water is heavier than the HFO, it started flowing. But the extent of the spillage, so-called, was not as massive as it was reported. But there was, you know, escape of heavy fuel. Then the next day, under the leadership of the NEA, a multi-task force was set up to coordinate and implement an intensive cleaning exercise around the area, and including some of the swamps where the spill HFO drifted. Pura, who is the regulator of the petroleum sector, is ensuring that Petroleum develop an environmental management plan to prevent the reoccurrence of such an occurrence. I'm pleased to report that the Petroleum have actually replaced, as of today, all the age discharge pipes at the facility from the mooring place to the tanks with new ones. So, and we are hopeful that such things will not happen again. Thank you.
Thank you. No further.
Honorable Member for Serekunda West.
Could the Honorable Minister tell us how much does this spillage?
I don't understand. What do you mean, cost government in terms of what?
What I mean exactly is this oil is paid for and it never delivered. It went into the sea. Somebody must have paid that cost.
Yeah, but the oil, if it doesn't get to the tank, it's not paid for. It's the loss of the supplier. Yeah, but that's why I'm responding.
Question number 060.
Trouble, I raise my hand. And we are only two. Please.
Honorable Member for Basse.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Minister, what are your plans in introducing the risk management department at Petroleum in order to be at least looking at the risk exposures to report to management for avoiding the occurrence of that spillage? Because it is a total loss and it has to cost the government in compensating the owner or the importer of that oil. So what are the mechanisms or plans putting up the risk management in institution, because we realize Petroleum doesn't have risk management, and there is nobody who is taking the responsibility in export.
Honorable member, put your question.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member. Let me clarify that Petroleum is not owned by the government of the Gambia. Petroleum is a private limited liability company, but you have public SOEs that have a share in Petroleum, but Petroleum is not under my ministry. It's a private company. Now, they are regulated by PURA. We issue the storage license. The minister issued the storage license in accordance with the Petroleum Product Act of 2016. So PURA, as well as the national environment agencies, are mandated to ensure that they comply with all necessary regulations with respect to environment and other storage-related issues. So, and as I said before, Petroleum was not licensed. After the incident in 2021, last year, then the circumstances forced that they be licensed in accordance with the Act. So now, there is a regulation, they are bound by the law, and they will have to comply with the law. Thank you.
Honorable member for Woolly East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, the spillage that occurred at Mandinary, has that got anything to do with Gambia's inability to import fuel directly from the sources instead of from Senegal, which is costing us a lot of money?
Are you saying that Gambia imports from Senegal?
Importing fuel from Senegal, which is costing us about $120 million. You are not aware of that?
That is news to me. Yes. Gambia imports fuel from Senegal? No. What I know is Gambia imports fuel from the international market. The fuel that we use is imported from the fuel international market. I mean, that we have international traders that are, Big Four. You have Trafigura, you have ADAX, you have PSTV, and then you have Vitol. These are the Big Four international fuel traders that come and dump their fuel in the depots here. So I don't know who says that we import fuel from Senegal. I mean, the HFO that we use is brought here through a contract between NAWEC and a supplier, which is brought by PSTV. That is not from Senegal. This is from the international market. But what I do know is sometimes when there is a delay in the arrival of a vessel, some of the importers who have the contact, will apply for overland importation. And that overland importation, they take the fuel from Senegal, but it is in Senegal, it is the same international traders that dump the fuel in Senegal, just like they do in Lomé. So I don't know, we don't import our fuel from Senegal.
Question number 060 of 2022, Honorable Member for Yara Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for coming to Parliament to answer our questions. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly when his ministry intends to electrify the following communities in Yara Central? These communities are as follows, Honorable Speaker. Buiba Jallokunda, Buiba Sanikoli, Buiba Mandinka, Buiba Musa Njado, Sare Seidi, Forea Fula, Forea Medina, Sasita Toranka, Medina Sasita, Digante, Sare Bulli, Jobu Kunda, Sare Kifa, Fololo, Badume Koto, Badume Kuta, Kanuma, Sare Jama, Sare Omar, Suluko, and Minna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Member, the above villages that you mentioned are covered under the Ecowas Regional Electricity Access Project. And this project will provide electricity to 298 communities last mile, meaning that they will be connected, and provided with service poles and service cables and the meters, all paid for by the project. So works contract, as I said, has already been signed. The contractor has mobilized and is doing his engineering design, survey works, procurement, and the installation works will commence in the new year. So all of these communities will be covered. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Minister, are you saying that all these 21 communities that I have mentioned would be covered by the time or the period you have mentioned just now?
Absolutely, 100%, because these are, as I said, communities that fall under the project scope, and the construction works will start early next year. The contract is for a period of 24 months. It became effective last year, and almost 47.2% of the time has elapsed, and then work is in progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have not other issues. Thank you.
Question number 0161 of 2022, Honorable Member for Basse.
Could the Honorable Minister tell the August Assembly what plans are available for his ministry to resolve the water shortage in Basse layout and the satellite villages?
Honorable Speaker, as part of NAWEC's medium and long-term plans, they are developing a water master plan which is aimed at addressing the water supply problems nationwide, including Basse. At present, NAWEC making efforts in collaboration with our traditional financial partners for possible intervention in the short term in these growth centers. I visited the provincial water facilities, I think last month, with the MD of NAWEC and his team, and we saw the need for them to enhance the operational efficiency. This is something that can be done short term. But in terms of addressing the water shortage on a holistic basis, it requires investment. And those investments are things that NAWEC is working on, with under the leadership of the ministry, to make sure that we put bankable project proposal before the financial partners for possible funding.
Question number 062 of 2022, Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for coming. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly what measures are in place to address the water pressure problem experienced by residents in Abuko, Latrikunda, and Fajikunda, who continue to suffer on a daily basis and sometimes for weeks without droplet of water from their taps?
There has been unprecedented urbanization and population growth. And the infrastructure remains the same. The water infrastructure hasn't increased in tandem with that growth rate. So as we speak today, the water demand outpaces the supply capacity, and that's a fact. Now, major investments are required to upgrade and modernize and expand the water supply infrastructure nationwide, especially in the GBA, where we have witnessed this urbanization, population growth, and infrastructural development. What I can report to you is that the government of the Gambia has secured funding from the World Bank, the AFD, and the OIC Secretariat to carry out the most urgent infrastructural works to improve the supply capacity. In the meantime, NAWEC is also continuing to work on its water production, transmission, and distribution network to improve the water pressure in the system. There's also something that affects the water supply, is also the consistency and the stability of the electricity supply. Whenever the supply is unstable, it affects the production capacity of NAWEC. But in recent times, there has been some massive effort to make sure that we stabilize the electricity supply situation, and hence it will have an impact on the water. So we are confident that with all of these, the supply situation, especially in the Latikunda area, Fajikunda, Abuko, will be ameliorated. But there is also one important thing that we have to mention, is that in most of those areas, you have pipes, polythene tubes that have been laid and run 200 meters, 300 meters diameter of half an inch or 1 inch. And, they don't have, 100 millimeters, 150 pipes or 200. And in these polythene tubes, you have people maybe serving me, now 20, 30 people connected. And there is no way that, you will have water. So that is why NAWEC has identified so that these areas, they will put distribution pipes to be able to evacuate the water and try to connect people in these big pipes with large volumes of water. But with the small pipes, it's a problem. It is in the Bunung area, in the Bohol 9 area, all of these areas, which is Fajikunda, is a problem. It requires investment, and these investments, I'm happy to say that for the AFD, they have just given the government of the Gambia about 29 million euro as a grant to be able, for NAWEC to be able to do their expansions in terms of production, transmission, and the distribution network.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that wonderful response. I don't know whether NAWEC has any plan to decouple water and electricity supply.
What do you mean, decouple, in terms of the institutional governance? In
terms of institutions, exactly, so that there can be an institution purposely for water, and there could be an institution purposely for electricity, instead of NAWEC covering all of them. Thank you.
What I can say is the Millennium Challenge account. We have a Millennium Challenge Corporation. This is something that the government is looking at, and under the Millennium Challenge account, it is one of the issues that a consultant will look at to see the benefits and the advantages and the disadvantages. Because I don't want to preempt the outcome of the study, but there are other places where they deregulated. Now they are re-regulating. Because there is always a complementarity and a benefit in this country, given the size, to just say that decouple. Decouple. The issue is not to decouple or uncouple. That is something that we'll find out the consultant to do. But the issue is the investment. If you decouple and you don't have the necessary investment, it's not gonna change anything. So it's investment and more investment in infrastructure so that you and I will continue to have water and electricity, on a consistent 24-hour basis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have no further question.
Honorable Minister, time limit. Supplementary answers 2 minutes maximum. Honorable Member.
Any further question? Thank you.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the question is lack of pressure. And these communities are suffering. And these are very big communities. So how soon will this project that you are talking about take off so that these people, their problem can be ameliorated? These are very big communities, 3 big communities suffering from water.
Yeah, the project is, there are immediate short-term improvements which NAWEC is actually doing. And in terms of the implementation of the project, the technical assistance who is supporting NAWEC, is already on the ground for the AFD project and also for the World Bank project. So work is in progress.
Honorable Member for Bunduakunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Yes, to the Honorable Minister, as you said, the capacity of the demand for water is too much. But what mechanism do you have temporarily to give the service to people who already have installed their standpipe and they are not getting water? Because normally, I think this community still now is just low pressure of water. So whether there is any alternative that you can do to at least give them water. Thank you.
Yeah, as I said, there are operational efficiency increase, which is the first step to see how, water can be remodeled and redirected. And NAWEC is in the process of doing that. And we're hopeful that, things will improve, because some of the areas have started seeing water flow.
Kobo East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister make a clarity here? Since it has been identified that the pipes that have been fixed could be minimal pipes that could not support the pressure to reach out to people, and yet still NAWEC is continuing making connections with the same pipe size to people to experience it. What has your ministry had to put onto NAWEC to make sure these things are regularized, since it has been identified?
I as a former staff of NAWEC and a former director at the Water Division, I don't believe that it's NAWEC policy to connect anybody on a 1-inch pipe or 3/4 pipe. The connections are from the main pipe.
Question number 063 of 2022, Honorable Member for Jokadu. He has authorized Yara Central, and Yara Central also is out. We now move to question number 064 of 2022, Honorable Member for Kiang Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy explain to this August Assembly what plans has his ministry have to provide electricity to to the residents of Yara Central, especially Kabada, and its environs at the soonest possible time.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pleased to inform that Bumari, Nema, Kuta, Bam, Bako, Giraffe, and Nema Kuta are currently being electrified under the Electricity Expansion Project Phase 2, which is financed by the Indian government, and the contractor is expected to complete the works the end of December. Additional communities in Yara Central, including Kabada, will be covered under the Ecowas Electricity Access Regional Project, which is under implementation.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Can you name me the villages that are to benefit from that project now? Thank you.
I cannot give you the entire list because it's a very long list, but I can provide you with a copy of the villages.
Thank you very much.
Question number 065 of 2022, Honorable Member for Lower Badibu.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. He authorized me to read it on his behalf.
Who is speaking?
Honorable Member for Nyani.
Honorable Member for Nyani?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy tell this August Assembly when would the Minister provide electricity to the northern part of Lower Badibu?
Honorable Speaker, the northern part of the Lower Badibu will be electrified under the Ecowas Regional Electricity Access Project. The works contract is already signed. The contractor is mobilized, doing his engineering and detailed studies and procurement. Actual construction works are expected to start next year.
Thank you. There is no further question.
Question number 066 of 2022, Honorable Member for Yara Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could the Honorable Minister explain if and when the ministry plans to provide the people of Yara Central and their livestock with clean drinking water?
Yara Central does not fall under NAWEC's water supply coverage area. NAWEC provides water supply to urban, peri-urban, and major provincial centers. The Department of Water Resources is responsible for providing rural communities, with water supply under their rural water supply programs.
Thank you very much. No further questions.
Question number 067 of 2022, Honorable Member for Woodley West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Considering the importance of electricity, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly if and when the ministry plans to electrify local communities in Woodley West?
Honorable Speaker, Woodley West will be electrified under the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project Backbone Phase 2. The JAM will electrify 165 communities in the URR, 62 in URR North, and 103 in URR South. As I explained earlier, the construction work was signed and it became effective on the 11th of October. The contractor is mobilized and works will start following the approval of his designs and survey work and the procurement of materials. We expect the work to be completed completely in 2024. The whole communities will be completed because that's the construction period, the contract period for the construction works.
We now move to questions for this session. The questions we dealt with were for the questions posed during the September period. Honorable Member for Honorable, take your floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would just like to appeal to you because the question number 063 I was authorized to read that on behalf of the member for Jokado, but I had an issue to settle outside. My car was parked in front of another car, so I went to remove that car there.
Yeah, honorable member, we continue until we finish probably.
Okay, thank you.
Question number 0176 of 2022, honorable member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy update this August Assembly on on the involvement of the Australian oil company FAR and Malaysian Petronas in the drilling of oil wells in the Gambia, as well as the funds generated from the license fee?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'll give a background. First, in 2017, Eden, which was the original license holder, farmed out 80% of its participating interest in the Block A2 and A5 license to FAR. In June 2018, FAR also farmed out 40% of its 80% shares to Petronas. The joint venture were required to drill an exploration well by 2018. And accordingly, in October, November, they drilled the Samo #1 well at a cost of in excess of 25 million, and they paid a total license fee of about 10 million to the government of the Gambia. Following the joint venture's fulfillment of their initial exploration period obligation, in 2019, a new license with clear terms, including the requirement to drill another exploration well, was granted to FAR and Petronas with an initial period of 3 years ending in September 2022. The joint venture again fulfilled their obligation at a cost of over 60 million by drilling Bambo well #1 in November-December 2021. Bambo well #1 and Sano did not find oil in commercial quantities. However, it provided further useful understanding of the geology and confirming a working petroleum system. After drilling 2 unsuccessful wells in a relatively small superficial area within a time span of 3 years, Petronas has withdrawn from this license. However, FAR have elected to enter the first extension exploration period and are currently undertaking further studies on the region, as well as looking for partners. The license payments normally are bonus payments, surface rental, and training and resources. A total of 9.5 million was paid to the government during the period 2019 to 2022. So the rental and bonuses were transferred to the National Treasury, whilst the training and resources is used to support the development of the petroleum sector, support capacity building for the sector and relevant stakeholders, provide assistance on the activities upstream of key stakeholders like the Ministry, the Petroleum Commission, and the GNPC. We also fund training and relevant education of citizens and staff and stakeholder institutions in different fields in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you talked about withdrawal of Petronas from drilling. What was the reason behind their withdrawal?
I mean, they were partners to FAR in this license, and the fact that they spend their money to drill exploration well and did not find any oil, so it's their prerogative. They decided that they don't want to extend, they want to withdraw.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
I have a second supplementary, Honorable Speaker.
Go ahead, Honorable Member.
Honorable Minister, according to reliable sources, $50 million was paid to Gambia government for license fee by FAR and Petronas. What will you say to that?
I have absolutely nothing to say about that. What I can say is what I have been presented by the relevant government entities, and that is what I have reported.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Minister mentioned 9.5 million, but did not say whether it is in dollars or it is in dollars. So can you clarify whether it is in dollars or it is in dollars?
$9.5 million.
Question number 0177 of 2022, Honorable Member for Fonyi Berefet.
Yes, thank you very much. As the same thing, she has directed me to read on her behalf. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum Energy commit to provide a solar street light for the 14 villages in Fonyi Berefet constituency? And if so, when? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, street lights are normally incorporated as part of road projects, and providing street lights in communities are the responsibility of the area councils. However, some of NAWEC's electricity access projects includes installation of street lights, and the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy is also exploring support from partners to roll out solar street lights in the country.
Thank you. No further.
Question number 0178 of 2022, Honorable Member for Yara West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for coming. Honorable Speaker, would the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy tell this August Assembly when will the villages of Kanikunda, Kohel, Sarabiran, Fonkwekunda, and Sinchue, all part of Yara West, will be electrified? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, these mentioned villages are on the list of additional villages to be considered under the Ecowas Regional Electricity Access Project. We're expecting to have an addendum in the existing contract, which will be proposed after the design of the main contract, and that will be subjected to the availability of the remaining funds. But what I can add is this: any of the communities throughout the length and breadth of the Gambia, which is not covered by any of the ongoing projects, we are in the process of developing additional projects to be submitted to the development partners so that we can have total and absolute coverage of electricity coverage in the country.
Honorable Minister, I don't know if you are aware, there is a settlement between Soma and Kanikunda. And then these people have been crying for electricity, and they are very, very close to the OMPG substation in Soma. Also, there are villages besides, like Sarasedi and Daru, around Kohel. And the Sarabiran also, the electricity have passed them, going to the border villages, left Sarabiran in the middle. They have been seeing the wires have been transferred to the border villages for almost 8 years now. They didn't have light. What are your plans on that?
We will consult with NAWEC. I will, from here, you can provide me with the specific list, and then from this session, I'll be delighted to look into it with NAWEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Question number 0179 of 2022, Honorable Member for Central Badibu. Question number 0180 of 2022, Honorable Member for Tumanna.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Energy and Petroleum tell this August Assembly of his ministry's plan to connect the proposed beneficiaries and communities that were surveyed in Tumanna constituency as part of rural electrification project? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. As I indicated earlier, all the communities in URR are covered under the JAM, which is the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, Phase 2. And the contract has been signed and it became effective in October. The contractor has mobilized and is doing the survey work in terms of the network, doing the engineering design, and carrying out the procurement. Once the various approvals are going by the consultant, the installation work will start on the ground, and that will start sometime in the coming year.
Okay, thank you very much. If, Honorable Minister, if you can provide the list of the beneficiary communities in my constituency.
Okay.
Please. Yes, thank you.
Question number 0181 of 2022. Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum Energy tell this August Assembly whether his ministry has any plan to extend the rural electrification project to Fonyi Bintang area?
Honorable Speaker, communities in Fonyi Bintang are to be electrified under the Ecowas project, that is the Ecowas Regional Electricity Access Project. The contract has been signed, effective, and the contractor is doing the design work, engineering works, survey, procurement, and the actual construction works will start very soon after the approval of his designs.
How soon can we hope for?
As soon as possible.
When I say how soon, I am referring to a number of months, years, or decades.
What I can say is the project duration is 24 months from time of effectiveness to completion. So if you calculate December effectiveness 24 months, it will be December 2023. So before 2023, the project should be completed. Okay?
Question number 0182 of 2022, Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Thank you so very much. Honorable Speaker, only 2 villages in Fonyi Bondali constituency are electrified out of 36 villages. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy explain to this August Assembly his ministry's plan to extend water and electricity projects to the rest of the communities in the constituency?
Honorable Speaker, as I said earlier, the communities in Fonyi Bondali to be electrified under the Ecowas project. For the water supply, NAWEC does not have water supply infrastructure in Fonyi Bondali, and that falls under the premise of the Department of Water Resources. Thank you.
Can you provide us a document on the beneficiary, on the villages that may benefit from this electric supply?
Sure.
Rest my case.
Question number. Okay, Honorable Member for.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, according to the main question, 2 villages from Fonyi Bondali constituency are benefiting electricity out of 36 villages.
what were the criteria used to qualify those two, and 34 is yet to benefit out of?
I don't know, because I don't know when they were electrified, but the fact of the matter, as his question indicated, is that 2 out of 36 were electrified. This electrification took place before. You know, there was a West Coast, I can remember, electrification of the West Coast region that was done in the former government under the former managing director of NAWEC. Maybe it was during that time. So now we are talking about the present tense, you know, and the fact is, only as he said, there are 36, 2 are electrified, so the 34 are going to be electrified under the EcoRib project.
Question number 0183 of 2022, Honorable Member for Upper Salum. Question number 0184 of 2022, Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, families in the Greater Banjul area, including major referral hospitals, mainly Kanifing and Banjul Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, struggle with water supply. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy tell this August Assembly if the Ministry is aware of the water shortage in these areas?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Yes, we are aware of the water shortages, and you know, something is being done in terms of upgrading, renewing, rehabilitating, and expanding the water supply infrastructure to meet the demand. And these investments are ongoing. With regards to the Kanifing Hospital, NAWEC has informed the Ministry that it is not aware of water shortage in the hospital. According to NAWEC, they contacted the hospital administrations who confirmed that the water shortage has been experienced within the hospital in the past. Nevertheless, who confirmed that water shortage has not been experienced within the hospital in the recent past. Nevertheless, my ministry will continue to monitor the situation, and should any water shortage is experienced, NAWEC will be instructed to take immediate corrective actions.
I have a supplementary question. So how about the situation at the Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital? We are told that they are struggling with water supply.
I have heard about that, but I don't have the details. I will find out from NAWEC to provide me with the update, and then I will be able to provide you with the answer.
Thank you.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Minister said efforts are being done, but has not specifically mentioned what efforts are being done. Can the Minister please explain to us specifically what project is doing what to address this particular situation in Serekunda and Kanifing area?
No, what I explained in my earlier response was that the World Bank has provided NAWEC with funds to drill new boreholes, expand the network. The AFD, Agence France de Développement, has also provided 29 million euro to the government of the Gambia to expand the water infrastructure, to drill more boreholes, have more transmission network and distribution network. Also, the OIC Secretariat has provided NAWEC to drill. And actually, they have dug, boreholes to connect to the existing system so that there will be additional water to be pumped into the distribution network. So these are the things that I refer to.
Honorable Member for Sami Mandinary.
Since NAWEC could not confirm the water shortage at this particular hospital that has been mentioned here, was the ministry able to do or to monitor or to do any findings physically then?
I don't think I understand your question.
Yeah, honorable member. Actually, he said NAWEC is not aware, and that the hospital was contacted, and they said they are not suffering from any water shortage in the recent past.
Haven't heard from the minister. If I should hear him clearly or understand what he says.
Your question, honorable member.
No, I'm just trying to clarify what I heard from him. Anyway, the minister. It seems the minister was, or the ministry was relying on the confirmation or the response from NAWEC by confirming that there was no water shortage. What I'm asking is, was the ministry able to do a physical monitoring at the hospital at that moment? I know, yes, I heard from him that they will continue monitoring. But before continuing monitoring, yes, there were some confirmations. But then at that moment, was the ministry able to see that area physically to confirm, not to rely only on the NAWEC's response? That's what I mean. Thank you.
No, we did not do that, because we rely on NAWEC as the operator. But I think we will take a cue from you that in the future we will do such a thing.
Question number 0185 of 2022, Honorable Member for Yara East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Member for Yara West. I said member for Yara West. He asked me to read his questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, there is no electricity supply in the whole of Yara East constituency. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly of the Ministry's plans, if any, to extend electricity supply to this constituency? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Communities in Yara East to be electrified under the Ecowas Regional Electricity Access Project. I've explained that the contract has been signed, it became effective, and it's a duration of 24 months. The contractor is doing the engineering, design, survey works, and procurement for works to start on the ground. I think all these projects, especially with the Ecowas Regional Electricity Project, came about following the construction and the commissioning of the OMVG transmission network and having the Soma substation and also the Birkama substation behind the power station. And following the construction of these substations under the ECOWAS, the World Bank decided to fund a project under ECOWAS to provide access, which is not only for the Gambia, but we in the Gambia, I think Guinea-Bissau and Mali benefited under the first phase. And we were given $66 million grant money to be able to provide access to our people. So it will be because of from the substations in Soma, then, most of these communities will be connected because of the existence of this substation in Soma. And also both on the South Bank and North Bank region and other communities.
Thank you. No supplementary.
Question number 0186 of 2022, Honorable Member for Combo South.
Honorable Speaker, he has authorized me to read his questions on his behalf. Combo South. Member for Combo South.
Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly how much money was paid by Jingon Foundation Sand Mining Unit since the insurance of Lansing to the company for the extracting sand from various locations within Combo South?
Honorable Speaker, according to data provided by the Geological Department, Jinkon Sand Mining Company paid the government of the Gambia $54,991,150 as royalty from September 2020 to 31st October 2022.
Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Honorable Speaker, $54 million is paid to the Gambia government for royalty. But we all know that sand mining is being done in very close to other communities and it's affecting them also. So what percentage of this would go to the communities as royalty in your own assessment? Or do you pay, let me put it, do you pay royalty to the communities that are being affected or to benefit from this sand mining industry?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. There are different aspects to the sand mining, okay? Currently, the licensee or the permit holder, as part of the process to acquire a permit or a license, need to go to the community and talk to the community and get the community's agreement and have an MOU as to what he's going to do for the community. And that is the first document that you have to present to the geology. Now, they will agree because they will be exploiting or extracting the sand for their benefit. So the community needs to get something from it. Now, in addition to the royalty that the geology collects and gives to the treasury I think every period, the accountant general will share the money between geology and also the area councils to give back to the community. So this is the arrangement. Well, as you very well know, the sand mining, we all need sand to construct. Currently, we have seen the devastation that has been caused along the coast from Batakunku all the way to Tujereng, Sanyang, Sambuya, Kashume, all the way. And, the government has taken a decision because of the environmental impact, to stop all those mining activities in the coast. And because of the destruction. So we're looking at inland mining, but even with the inland mining, you need to go and interact with the communities. And there is a task force which has been set up by the cabinet, comprising of a ministerial subcommittee, and then supported by technicians who is going around to identify potential mining sites, after which the ministerial task force, members of the ministry will go and sensitize the communities and agree with the communities as to whether we can use those sites for mining, because the sand is good. The other alternative is the deep sea, is the dredging. which is being now populated. We are developing the regulations and the necessary studies to be carried out so that we'll be able to go into the sea at certain areas, geologically suitable areas, to do sand dredging.
Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, we would acknowledge your ministry's efforts, especially as per to the Denton Bridge mining aspect, as we did hear that it was even halted to further make the investigations which are currently ongoing. You did make mention that that is the indigenous people, those that are living in the grassroots areas, need to be part of the consultative process. So since the investigations are ongoing, once it will be rekindled, will that be part of the new agreements that will take place?
The government represents the people, and therefore anything that we do, we'll reach out to the people and the communities to make sure that there is no, consequential damage to the interests of the people that we serve. We're in the works. We are doing the works now to try to see different options and how things can be done better. In fact, I have asked my peers to call a stakeholder meeting on Saturday with anybody who has interest in sand mining, quarrying, be you the licensee, the holder, or the truck driver, or the seller, to come, and then we listen to you to tell us your views and what is it that we can do together to make sure that what we are doing, this sector, is done in a very sustainable manner for the interest of all of us.
Can I comment? Sorry. Can I have a supplement?
Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, with regards to the forced arrangement, where individual companies will have an agreement with the communities for a mining to be done, which after the mining, the JRA will divide the money between geology and the local council. As a ministry, what strategic oversight do you do to make sure that the revenue that is collected by council on behalf of a particular community is plowed back into the community to make sure that the environmental damage that would have been done in that particular community after mining can be recovered?
The resources, the license holder has a responsibility under his environmental management plan to restore, to do restoration of the mining area. The resources that are divided is not meant for the restoration, but for the council and the community to see, for example, other projects or other things that will be beneficial to the community. But the rehabilitation of the mining site is part of the responsibility of the license holder. I'm coming. But we all have seen that they are not rehabilitating. No, I'm coming. They have not rehabilitated. They have caused damage. And that's why we have stopped them. We've asked them to stop. And we're not issuing any new permit or license to such people under that dispensation. The Honorable Minister of Interior, who is a member of this subcommittee, came up with an idea the other day at the office of the Vice President to say that why don't we have a bond for these guys that we will be giving license. If they don't rehabilitate, you call the bond. That is a new idea. And these are the things that we are now putting in the works to make sure that the environment that belongs to all of us is not damaged by a few individuals for their interests.
Honorable Member for Sani Mandinary.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, could it not be better for the government to state how much should be given to each community that is affected, and then also how the councils should be distributing this percentage to the various communities? Thank you. As per 60%.
I think during our tour sometime in August to these mining facilities site, when a member of the Birkam Area Council participated, I think he did explain that there is part of the legislation, that defines how the money is to be apportioned. I don't think the Accountant General is just blocking the figures out of the thin air. I think there must be a basis for dividing the resources. But in terms of actually using when it is divided, to give it back to the community, this is something, if it is a concern, we'll take it up with the Ministry of Regional Governments, under whose responsibility the councils are to make sure that the money actually goes to the community, not goes to other, this is something that we can take and then put it forward to the Minister of Regional Government.
Question number 0187 of 2022, Honorable Member for Combo South.
Thank you very much. I'm still authorized by him. Okay. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly on the status of implementation of water and electricity supply in Combo South, especially in the villages of Kunjur, Tujereng, Tanje, Kunkujam Mariama, Mamuda, Jambur, and Sanya.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I'd like to say that there exists production and distribution system shortfalls to meet the growing demand for electricity and water supply in Combo South. Specific to water supply situation in the catchment area, the presence of high level of iron and manganese in the water produced by the boreholes resulted to the boreholes in the areas to be taken out of service. Subsequently, in May 2022, NAWEC diverted one of the production boreholes, which is situated in Nyofele, to send water to Gunjur. In addition, efforts are underway under the World Bank-funded project to drill replacement boreholes in iron-free areas in Nyofele so that the facilities in Gunjur can be served by enough boreholes for redundancy and resilience. Coupled with the OIC, which has 13 boreholes, and the WASIP project, which is the water supply in the Greater Banjul area project funded by the AFD. One of the challenges is this, as you have a proliferation of estate agents and land acquisition, get to a stage where, to have, areas for boreholes is a problem. And if you do not have areas to dig boreholes to serve all of us, then we will not have water. And without water, there is no life. So in Nyofele, some of the areas, with the help of the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government, NAWEC was having challenge because with respect to having land for these boreholes, I think it's about 19 under the WASIP project, But after the minister intervened, they were allocated, I think, 8 or 9 sites. The other remaining sites are things that the ministry is working with NAMEC to see the owners of the land where these, boreholes are to be located. Because we need to dig the boreholes to be able to get the water to serve you. Also, we need the routing for the transmission network and the pipes to get to all of us. Otherwise, we will not be able to have water to supply these communities. So we'll require the support of everybody in this endeavor to help all of us, because it's not a NAWEC thing, because NAWEC belongs to all of us.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, you have highlighted that efforts are on the way. How soon they are going to be free from?
Our intention is to, right now, as I said, one of the boreholes which were dug in Nyofele was now diverted to provide water to Buju and the environment. Now, all the other projects, which is the OIC, the WASIP project, are things which have started. And then it's a work in progress, it will materialize in the next year or year and 2 for all the works to be completed.
Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you laid emphasis on the iron content, and I think in your response, you actually talked about the problem that is really affecting with regards to limited borehole. The one you're talking about in Nyofele is the Tambana belt, where we have 17 borehole. But interestingly, since you talk about inavailability of land for future borehole drilling, which is a menace, and we have to look at this. But what are you doing as a ministry to collaborate with the Ministry of Lands to preserve land for future borehole drilling? As you rightly said, water is a fundamental human right. Because when the boreholes are drilled, the water table goes down. So the iron content is too much, and which is not conducive for our consumption. What strategic plan do you have to make land banking for this?
No, I don't think that when you drill boreholes and the water table goes down, hence the iron content comes up. No. Because you have boreholes that are close proximity to the sea. And if you overpump, it changes the hydraulic profile of the water flow. Normally, water in the aquifer moves from the land to the sea. But if you have a borehole very close to the sea and you pump, it reverses the direction. And that's why some of these areas in Gunjur had the high iron content. Okay? Yeah. But that's why in the other areas, you limit the pumping rate. Okay? Because every borehole has what is called a production yield. And you pump out of the borehole that yield, not to overpump, because if you overpump, it damages the borehole. So, but in terms of collaboration with the ministry, I and the Minister of Lands are working in tandem to make sure that we address the current issues. But your suggestion to look at other potential areas where we can have boreholes, we will do that. Now, part of the project is also to look at what is called there are 2 different aquifers here. The deep aquifer, which is almost about 200 meters or so, we're trying to see whether we can exploit that aquifer rather than the top aquifer as part of our efforts to make sure that, even if you do not have, the land, when you go deeper, there's a possibility you can have more water from the boreholes. But we'll take that suggestion and work with the Ministry of Local Government and Lands to see how we can work to identify these potential areas.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Minister is talking about iron content. But I know that there are other problems that people experience relating to the quality of water. So what comes to mind is that whether the ministry is thinking about coming with a legislation to actually monitor and control this proliferation of digging boreholes everywhere. Because if you are not really aware, you don't have the technical know-how of this iron content and other matters. Even some people go and dig boreholes near toilets, etc., etc. So how do we control that? Don't you think there is a need for legislation to actually control this? Thank you.
I think that's under the responsibility of Ministry of Water Resources and Fisheries, specifically Department of Water Resources. And I want to believe that there is something in place. Is there so? And they need to be able to do this monitoring and also enforcement and prevent people digging boreholes all over the place. It's not my minister's responsibility and mandate.
Honorable Member for Sami Mentoring.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, with regards to the land issue for you to, for your ministry to take the borehole, did it ever happen that your ministry engaged the community for access to land that you would like to dig the borehole, or collaborate with the Ministry of Lands to be provided a particular land within the community whereby they will be compensated? Thank you.
Yes, I think that this is part of the process that NAWEC engaged. This particular land for this WASIP project is in SIFO. For the former president's property around that land. I think, and part of it was in there, and the other part, I think, falls in private properties. But, I do believe that what the honorable member said is to work with the Ministry of Land, collaboratively, to identify, these potential sites. There is a master plan for, water supply and sanitation that has identified, potential areas, and we see how we can secure that. This is something I've taken note, and I will try and pursue with my. But in terms of the any private land, when there is a declaration of public utility, there's always once it is declared for the public good, there is a Land Acquisition and Compensation Act, which will determine how people have to be compensated, and the barem, the cap on which they have to be compensated. Because we're having similar issues on the transmission line, the 225 kV transmission line from Birkama to Jama, to try to be able to evacuate. You will see people come and, make certain compensation claims, preventing the government and the country to progress in terms of providing services to the people. these are things that needs to be tread very carefully, you know, because sometimes if you do not tread it
Honorable Minister, a reminder, 2 minutes.
No, it's okay.
Question number 0188 of 2022, Honorable Member for Bundung Kakunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy tell this as an August Assembly what measures are in place to address the low water pressure problem experienced by the residents of Bundung, Latrikunda, Sabiji, Talending, and Abuko, who continue to suffer on daily basis without water? Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, we sympathize with these communities. I know it's unbearable, but there are reasons for some of these issues, which I have explained earlier on, which is the demand more than the supply. But NAWEC has done an investigation with a view to implement some short-term solution. They also attempted to the water distribution network be reconfigured around the Cow Junction and Latrikunda Sabiji Mosque. This is what they identified. However, they could not implement this reconfiguration because some of these pipes, structures are on top of the pipes that are already built on them, for which, you know, they've engaged the Department of Physical Planning and KMC to try to address some of these issues, because some of these pipes, if you want to reconfigure, and they are on top of people's properties, but that's not an excuse. They need to find solution to the problem. And be rest assured that we will continue to push NAWEC to make sure that in the short term, medium and long term, these problems in these areas are addressed. That I can assure you. And we will do our level best, you know, to make sure that something is done as soon as possible.
Okay, Honorable Speaker, as we all know, water is life, and for me, water is more important than electricity. And we know NAWEC is doing extra mile as far as electricity is concerned. But right now, being a representative of the people of Bundung since 2013 up to date, I've been engaged in NAWEC. Still nothing has been done. We just want to know, when do you think the people of these communities can have access to this water, because they already have their service standpipe in place and they are paying bills on monthly basis? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker and member, what I can tell you is this. As the Minister, I will get NAWEC, the MD and his team on the ground. I will assure you that. Myself and the team of NAWEC will come on the ground to try to start working to see what can be done to at least, you know, improve the situation. That I can assure you. I promise to do that. And I will make contact with you so that, you know, you will see some action as soon as possible. Okay?
Honorable Member for Lower Salu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister. We were told by the former minister on this August House, the OIC project has 4 boreholes that should be drilled in KMC. Are you in a position to tell us whether is something that will happen or not?
I think when I responded to question 0187 2022, I indicated that there are 13 boreholes for the OIC which has already been dug. So if he said that 14 of them is in the KMC, then they are already docked.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. You've taken time to... Yes, Honorable Member. Yes, I remember you. What question was it? 0?
(063-2022) by the member for Jokado.
You mean question number 0163?
No, page 6. Go to page 6.
No, we may not have the same document.
Page 6, question number 063 of 2022 by the member for Jokado.
Yeah, member for Jokado.
Yes. Can I go ahead, Honorable Speaker?
Please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly when would the rural electrification expansion project reach the following villages which were surveyed a year ago, including Ker Jarga, Ker Amadou, Meme, Ker Omar Sen, Ker Njogor, Ker Umar Mane, Medina Madum, Ker Jen, Misira Al-Haji, Karu, Kisima Jao. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, these communities are part of the 62 communities to be electrified in the Jokado constituency under the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project Phase 2, for which the contract has been signed and the contractor is mobilized and doing the engineering, survey, procurement works, and construction to start as soon as possible.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. No further question.
Thank you very much. Let me, on your behalf, thank the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy for ably responding to all relevant questions posed, both oral and supplementary questions. Honorable Minister, thank you very much.